This is our fourth cycle. Some of the people here have been with me from the very beginning, like Steve Shaw, Simon, they went first cycle. But they can witness that every cycle is different. This one is, I repackage the whole thing from 12 lessons to 3. So it's a lot more condensed. So hopefully you'll take the lesson and practice something every day, so the 3-week lesson will become 21-day lesson. So really this is a journey, the beginning is 21 days, okay? This time I focus on know yourself, discover yourself, as a basis for living a meaningful life, okay? Now if you go to Greece, you will see the sign, know yourself, right at the entrance of the temple of Apollo. I mean, if you go there, you can see it, because that is according to Greek culture, to know yourself is the foundation of everything. Now, Plato is Socrates' student. He goes one step further. He said, to know yourself is the biggest challenge. You know why? Because to know yourself is to conquer yourself. Now think about that. Remember the Bible verse from 1 Corinthians 9:27? Apostle Paul says, I beat my body into submission to make my body into a slave so that I can achieve the goal God has for me. Plato said the same thing. That I heard people talk about, oh, I have weakness of not concentration and not focusing, or this is minor. Your major thing is your darkness that you hide from everybody. When Plato said you have to conquer yourself, he is saying that you conquer the animal drive, the animal instinct, the demon in you. Unless you're able to master yourself, you cannot be the master of your life. This is a very important lesson. Okay? So how you discover yourself, you have to deepen yourself, see, your problem is more than just being distracted. Okay? Not important. Your problem might be deeper than that. Okay? Now, here is Aristotle. He is the student of Plato. He goes even further. Okay? He is saying that happiness and meaning is a purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. Now, when I go to, yesterday I had my hair cut. Every time I go there, my hairdresser says, well, tell me how to be happy. Because you know that this is my area, tell me how to be happy. And then he asked me, now, do you like to drink? Do you like women? And do you have a big house? And so their way of thinking is that happiness is by way of possession. I have a rich father, I have a rich brother. They possess a lot of properties, they're very rich, but they're not happy. Okay, so Aristotle turns it around, saying that happiness is not based on possession, nor based on performance. Happiness is based on a sense of being. Being who you are, being your best, to excel in your virtues. That's what Aristotle means, eudaimonia. Happiness is eudaimonia. There's no simple English word for that. Aristotle is teleologist. You know teleology? A dog is happy when it's dog. A cat is happy when it's cat. A fish is happy when it's in water. A bird is happy when it flies. A person is happy when what? When he's truly a human being. When he develops his spiritual nature. When he's able to develop his unique talent, unique calling. So that's teleology. Right? So happiness is being truly you, being, see, from being, from possession to being, from performance to being, is being truly you. So therefore, it's important for us to find out what is my true me. Okay? That basis. Now this is again Aristotle. Okay, you know yourself, the wisdom of. Okay. Now this is Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu is about the same time as Aristotle, about the same period. Buddha, Lao Tzu, they are historically about the same period. Okay. Lao Tzu also said that no other is intelligent, but know yourself is true wisdom. The question that do you know yourself? Do you know yourself? Okay. There are three main reasons for starting a journey. Okay. The first reason is what? Life is too short. You better know where you're going. Otherwise, what? You'll be going in circles. You repeat every year as the last year. So you're not getting anywhere. You go wrong and wrong. Like the Jewish people wandering in the wilderness, wrong and wrong. You better figure out where you want to go, where you're heading, okay? That's why some people change jobs. And some people change wives. Some people change locations. But the biggest change is what? Change yourself, right? That's the key. The second thing is that if you don't want to make yourself miserable, don't want to make others miserable, you better know yourself, know your weaknesses, and have mastery, to conquer your dark side. You know, I've seen so many marriages crumble, and so many people live in misery. Do you know why? They are blind to their own faults. They're blind. They never realize that they're lashing out, they're hurting people, and you in turn hurt themselves as well. You tell them that your problem, all the problem resenting you, they'll be very mad with you. But that's the truth. You are your worst enemy. Most of the problem is your personal problem, personal issues. So that's why, if you want to solve a problem, whether a relationship problem or work problem, take an honest look at yourself and see how you can fix yourself so you can be a better worker, better husband, better wife, better human beings. That's the key. The third one, everyone to actualize themselves. You know, in psychology, it's self-actualization. But if you don't know who you are, how do you actualize yourself? Very logical question, right? How do you actualize yourself? You have to dream, right? If you don't know yourself, how do you know your dream is a real good dream or just fantasy, right? So that's the key. If you know who you are, and then your life is much easier, much better. I have to rush because I only have 20 minutes. Now, here negative consequences. You're being trapped in frustration, wandering in the wilderness, going through life without living your own life. You will experience mental health problems. Do you know the latest statistics? Just now, in America last year, is almost 20% of people have mental illness, one form or another. Almost 20%. In Canada, it's not much better. It's about 1 out of 5 people have emotion problem, anxiety problem, thinking problem, some kind of mental illness. So I think about that. You know, why is the case? The people living standards higher, they're more material, they're more education. Why is that the mental illness problem is still so rampant? I come to the conclusion that we are not living as we should. You know, if a bird locked up in a cage, the bird will not be happy, right? So we are not really living as human beings. We're living like machines, like animals. We're not living our true self, okay? So that is, if we are alienated with ourselves, you're more likely to develop loneliness, depression, anxiety. When you cannot get along with yourself, how do you get along with other people? Think about that. If you can't stand yourself, okay, how can other people stand you? If you cannot be comfortable in your own skin, how you be comfortable with other people? So that is an area that many people cannot realize. Okay? Now, if you know yourself, you are showing ability. You never say, here's my problem. You will say, I am my problem. Once you assume the ability for your life, that will be the turning point of your life. Okay? As long as you bring heaven, bring earth, bring everybody else, bring your parents, and then you bring other people, that's the way for you to move forward. Okay? If you want to create your own unique future, you have to know your unique talent, your unique feature, your unique calling. So you can live a life of purpose and productivity and happiness only if you know yourself. Have you taken a mirror when you take a look at your mirror? Do you like what you see? Do you like what you see? Okay. Now, when we talk about knowing yourself, okay, now here we're getting more specific now. We're occupying three worlds. Heidegger talked about being in the world, okay, being in the biological world, being in the. So the first one is your personal world, okay. Your past, your past, your strengths, your weakness, and your body image. It's all about you, okay. In the personal world, how much do you know about your personal world? The second world is important, it's a relational world. You know why? Because no one is an island. No one is born in a cave. No one is alone. You're always part of a relational network. You're all part of a network. If you can't manage relationship, you are screwed. It's very simple. Okay? So you have to accept the relational world to find out where things go wrong, relational-wise. Okay? The third world is also more important. Your transcendental world. The metaphysical world. We are trained in science, and you're very rational, right? You're a very rational guy. Eh? Being rational does not preclude to believe in the metaphysical world, right? That when you believe beyond what is observable, what can be understood rationally. Because science can only go so far. I have a friend, I'm a classmate from graduate school. She had debated with me for many, many years. I said, your problem is that you think that everything has to be understood rationally. That's your problem. If you do remove belief from your life is worse off. Do you know placebo effect? Do you know how powerful belief is? Those who believe that life has purpose and value will function much better than those who believe that life has no meaning, life has no purpose. I mean, nobody can prove, but functionally, you're much better off if you believe that life has purpose, life has value, then you will enjoy life more, you're more positive towards life, you have more energy. So belief is important. So part of our exploration is to ask yourself, what do I believe? What are my assumptions? Okay? This is a graphic. Now, the middle part. Now, what's the middle part? The middle part is your true you. See, well, some people say, well, how can you find your true you? Your true you is your core essence. That's your true you. Okay? Now. Your true yourself, your unique talents, your weaknesses, your temperament, what is essentially part of you. It's not just your signature strength and your talent, but also include your dark side. If you do not know your dark side, you do not know you. Okay? So the whole package, yourself in totality, including the dark side. The second part is your unique roots from your family and race, culture. See, I have a Chinese blood in me. There are two people here have Chinese blood, or three. Our Chinese DNA is very different from Caucasian, right? And we are tough, right? Once in a while, the Chinese, they're perseverance, they're tolerant, they tolerate many things. That's why they survived for 5,000 years. We're a very tough breed to mess around with Chinese. We're a tough breed, It's in our blood, to be able to endure, to work hard, not to give up, Our main problem is that we don't know how to work together with other people, and you mentioned that, right? That's our problem. Yeah. Okay, so he had the Irish temper. Being Irish, you have Irish temper, right? And being Chinese, Chinese toughness. So you cannot get away from the DNA of your race and your culture. That's part of you, right? The third part is your belief system, your calling, the big picture. Where do you fit into the world, right? The whole wide world, where do you fit in? Where is your part? Do you know your part in the world? It took me a long time to find out who I am, because I tried this, tried that. I failed, and now I try and error. Now, in my old age, I say, I found my place. And don't let other people tell you where your place is. You have to find yourself. You found your place, you found your path, and that includes not just looking at your navel, but looking at the big picture. What is your calling? Your calling is your unique talent, okay? Your unique understanding, meeting the unique demands on you from your situation. So, your talent is realize what you have, your gifts, your talent, and the demand of your service from the world. When they come from young people to protest, they feel that situation is a situation. They have to fight for democracy. So many professors and many parents join the young people with the demand of the situation. So we don't know what the future holds. Yes?
Also, what happens in every human being is put in different situations. And obviously we all have our own core essence, but the truth of the matter is that people are thrown into abuse, into trauma, into poverty, into different situations which is pretty much out of the control many times. They're hurt, and many of these people cannot flourish and discover or manifest those core values or essence under those circumstances. One thing is have beautiful, amazing parents and all the money to go to university and be whoever you want to be.
Okay. So we have more discussion in group session. What I'm saying is that regardless of your situation, okay, you should have a sense of who you are, what makes you tick. You're different from anybody else. That's fine. But you not discover what makes you tick, but more importantly, what kind of unique contribution can you make to the world? But that's why you're here, right? You're here to make contribution. So your environment might be, oh, but my environment will not allow me. Do you know that I did not go to university until I'm almost 30 or 29 go to university? Because my environment will not allow me. But I did not give up the hope of going to university, right? I was not able to do many things that I'm doing now without, I had to wait for a long, long time. The key is that it doesn't matter how gloomy the situation is, but do you know where you're going to go? And I don't care how much bad is happening. If you know, if you have a goal, you know your calling, and then sooner or later you get there. But if you don't, you never get there. Very simple, right? If you don't know what the calling is, you never get there. So I appreciate you point out that all the difficulties, but that simply creates a challenge, right, for you to overcome. You know, I'm able to succeed because I have overcome many obstacles, many obstacles. You don't believe me, read my autobiography, but I'm still writing. I overcome many obstacles, right? 可以这么处是很有可以讲的。One is some reflection to reflect yourself. I was doing some good study about college students. Why college students? So many college students have depression and commit suicide. You know why not? They're too busy to reflect their life. They're too busy making money, too busy studying. They know why they're doing that. So if you're able to reflect and evaluate yourself, but understanding you'll not be feeling everything out of control. The second thing is mindful meditation, is that to observe yourself with a judgment. Observe your emotion. Right now, the many courses on mindful meditation. You can benefit from that. And write your own life story, write your journal. And the last one is ask people who know you best, you know, about your weaknesses, your blind spots. You know, they're part of exercise. They're part of exercise to improve yourself. Okay? Now, defense mechanism, will-management, mask, self-deception, and being ashamed of identity, and carry burden on the past. So, you know, if we don't do something about it, this will carry that with you. Now, here's the whole message. You're spending time here is your best investment. You go home to continue to work on the task of self-knowledge is your best investment. You never lose. If you invest time and energy to improve yourself, you will never lose. I don't care what profession you are in. We are great Martin, right? It doesn't matter what area. You improve yourself, people say, oh, well, you're such a good worker. You're such a good person to have. And my wife has 3 job offers, which are even applying. You know, maybe she's lucky. Maybe because, you know, people look at her, know that there's something in her that's good. They hire her without even she's not applying. If you improve yourself, that's your best chance to fulfill your dream. You know, I'm so old now. I'm 77. I continue to learn to improve myself. This cycle, right? See, is much better than last cycle, right? You're here, right? Right? I constantly improving. Next cycle, I promise you, will be even better than this cycle. I never stop. That's what life is about. You know, do something each day to increase your self-knowledge to move closer. A good life is a life of what? Constant improvement towards your dream. That's the life. A life of constant improvement, moving towards your dream. If you don't improve yourself, you're stuck. In Chinese saying that you're like a boat go upstream. If you don't progress, you regress, go backwards. They are making 20 minutes? Eh? I did that, right? 20 minutes. Give myself a hand.